Hi everyone, me and Luigi are back. He's sleeping peacefully on my lap. I took a moment before I started recording this just to take a meditation and ask the angels what we should speak about today and share with everyone. And it came through quite clearly, and to talk about our soul purpose, our deepest heart's desire, our volition, what we want to be doing here in terms of work and creating abundance and financial prosperity for ourselves and our families. Sometimes people will think about soul purpose and work as two separate things. Often we live our lives where we cultivate our spiritual side. Some people go to church, some people, we all have different ways of expressing our connection to the divine and the universe. And we sometimes explore our soul purpose and the meaning for being here in that category. Sometimes, not everyone, but sometimes. And then we separate our work, what we do for monetary exchange, separate from our soul purpose. And the angels are talking about how the best situation is to combine what you're meant to be doing here, your soul purpose, your connection with the divine, your creativity, with the work that we do for monetary exchange. Now, for some that seems like wishful thinking. Often we go about doing things where we feel we need to be responsible and take care of our families and be mature and realistic and practical and grounded, and all those voices that go off in your head. And there is an aspect to that that's true, where we need to provide for our families, we need to be realistic, we need to be practical, we need to be responsible. But the angels are saying that those things are not separate from doing what you love. And that actually, when you connect it to your divine purpose and you connect it to what you love, then all the doors open up where they seemed closed before. People seem to go about things, and I did this for many years, where we use our mind to rationalize over our head. We use our head to rationalize over our heart, to use our mind to think our way out of feeling or following where we want to go. And I've come to believe that I always thought the rational mind, you could think your way out of things, the mind was the superior organ. But I've come to believe through working with the angels that our heart is the superior organ. And it's not equated with bankruptcy and foolishness and abandonment of the senses. That when you really become more in tune with yourself and you quiet the mind and you listen to this still voice within and you follow your heart, then your heart won't let you down, and your heart will lead you to your ancestors and your guides and your angels. And it's that connection to the universe that's present in everything, from the raw organic food that we consume when it isn't processed and it isn't pesticide. This is, kind of getting very airy-fairy, and I hope that I won't lose anybody with this information. But I've come to find that when one eats very purely and very clearly, there are messages that are contained within the vegetables, within the raw organic food that we eat, in a way that isn't in a processed meal. And I've done this through many different dietary experiments and gone through cleanses. And I came to believe that almost as if the next step you need to know and the next step you need to know is given to you in message form in the food that we eat when it's in its raw organic form. And how the topic that I'm on with this is that the answers don't exist outside ourselves. So we all need wise counsel, and we all need to go, somewhere for help, and we all need support. But we haven't been abandoned by God and the angels in terms of everything we need to know for this divine mission is encoded within us. The answers are within us. We have our own set of angels to help us. It's in the messages of the clean organic food. So coming to somebody like me, or getting wise counsel, though there are times we do need a support mastermind group with us while we walk our journey. But when you're in tune with your body and your mind is calm and your diet is healthy, you would never need to technically outsource, go to somebody to get you in tune with yourself. Going to somebody that has abilities is called outsourcing. Whereas if you kept your body as a fine-tuned instrument, you'd never need to outsource. It's great to have support, but you never need to ask somebody for the answers outside yourself. So this is a journey that the angels are saying it's about. It's an inward out approach, and it's no longer going to the outside to get advice and get love, and almost like a pulling from the outside, from people and places and all the things that we consume to fill this deep void within ourselves. It's about no longer looking at the outside for the answers, but going in to find freedom, going in for the answers, going in for the peace, going in for the love, and discovering this treasure within inside ourselves, and then taking that out and sharing it with others. And that true freedom is an inside-out approach, that the only way out in liberation and freedom and peace and love is to go in. So it's this inside-out approach, that the only way out of this sometimes kind of neurotic, self-inflicted prison of thoughts that we sometimes have within us that makes us feel like prisoners or stuck or confused, that the only way to liberate ourselves is to go in. And each of us has that key to liberation. And it's good to join groups, and it's good to get support, and it's wonderful to meditate together, and there's a group energy in that. But ultimately we have to find the silence and the peace and the bravery to go within, and the courage to let go of all the noise and the chaos on the outside, and the things that we use to fill that void that keeps the noise brooding, and to have the courage to quiet that down and to let go of all the things we think we need, and the busyness we create for ourselves as a way of avoiding the stillness and the silence, because it frightens us. Because initially when we do this, things, the expression, things get worse before they get better, and it's almost as if the mind, the minute you try and calm it down, or it gets a little noisier, and you need to sit comfortably, and you've got to adjust yourself, and the telephone rings, and you think about something that you really need to be doing in this moment right now that's urgent, and it doesn't want to settle. But if you just kind of bring it back, and you recognize that that's a part of you that's trying to distract you, like the chocolate brownie that's sitting in the corner of your eye you shouldn't eat. It's kind of like that. And you say to yourself, you know what? I've been down that road. It doesn't lead to a good place. So I don't want to go there anymore. And I really want to commit to a path of compassion, a path of inner fulfillment, a path of purpose, a path of meaning. And I need to do this in order to do that. So this is about using those skills of letting go of what you don't need, quieting the mind, going within, to be able to discover within yourself what your bliss is, and to follow that bliss, to follow that calling. Sometimes people say, and the angels say, when you were younger, you knew exactly what it is that you wanted to do. I mean, yes, children change their careers all the time. I want to be a fireman, I want to be that. It's not really that they're talking about. It's more about, there were things that you did naturally, that your talent showed itself very naturally, whether it was dancing or painting or helping people. Things came through. You would have seen it. Other people would have noticed it. So if you can't remember what it was, ask your parents, or ask people that knew you well, your grandparents and aunt, whoever spent a lot of time with you. What did you do well when you were little? At 5, 10, 11, whatever age. What is it that they saw in you that they thought came naturally? And it's about taking that time to find out what you were like then, what came naturally, what secret you've held within yourself, even sometimes from yourself. Sometimes it's hard for us to let ourselves know what we truly want. And it's about taking that time to ask yourself, if I could do anything and anything was possible, what would I do? If money wasn't a problem and rejection wasn't an issue, or there was no fear and I could do anything, what would I do? And I recommend with the angels to hold that question in mind and to play with it. And another one is, if you won the lotto and you could do anything, after you spent 6 months lying on the beach, what would you do? And sometimes that's also an indication, because people put making money or the insecurity of how they pay for things and their family and finances. So they can't really get past that fear as to what they feel foolishly they would like to do. So that's a way of getting out of the mind and the fear. And then after that, it's about literally feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And having faith that money and your soul purpose and what you love to do are not separate from each other. That when you're honest with yourself about what it is you want and you're brave to go after it, you can live a journey that's filled with bliss. You can live a journey that's your soul purpose and earning money are aligned. You just have to be brave to go after it, and you have to believe in yourself. Messages from the angels with love.